Welcome to Lost Relation Chronicles.
I remember meeting Alistair at a party hosted by his fraternity. He stepped in when some creepy guy was hitting on me and wouldn't take no for an answer. Not long after, we started dating. It was a strange coincidence that we both came from Bay County, even though we lived in different parts, just 20 minutes apart. A few months into our relationship, I wasn't seeing anyone else. I still remember the first time we made love, 3 months after we met. He took me to a lovely restaurant, and afterward, we went dancing. We ended up making out in his car, and I was half undressed when I whispered for him to take me somewhere private. We drove to a Motel 6, and that night, we made love for the first time. From then on, we were exclusive and planned to get married after he earned his master's degree. A year after he graduated, we tied the knot. A couple of years later, Amanda was born, and 2 years after her, Andrew joined our family. We both adore our children and can't imagine life without them. Today, I'm enjoying the company's St. Patrick's Day party. We have a great spot to watch the parade. Normally, Alistair would have his car in the parade, but this year, it's not working, so he's riding with a friend. He'll call me when he's finished with the parade, and I'll pick him up a few blocks away before we come back to the party. My parents are watching the kids so we can enjoy the day. It's a casual gathering, and I'm wearing a slacks and top combo that's not too revealing but still flattering. My boss, Henry Miles, has been flirting with me all afternoon, and I've been playfully flirting back. His wife couldn't make it because she's not feeling well. You know the saying, when the cat's away, the mice will play. Henry is tall, around 6 feet, and weighs about 200 pounds. He's in great shape, with a body that would make anyone swoon. He's been putting the moves on me since I arrived, and for some reason, I've been responding. As the classic cars rolled by, I looked for Alistair but didn't spot him. I wondered where he was. After a while, I went back inside to grab another drink. Let's head upstairs to the balcony. No one's up there right now, Henry suggested. I followed him, and once we got there, he kissed me. I found myself kissing him back, and soon it became passionate. His touch set me on fire. I broke the kiss and pulled his hand away. No, someone might see us, I said, playfully shaking my finger at him. He removed his hand but pulled me closer, wrapping both arms around me for another kiss. I put my arms around his neck, and we kissed even more passionately. Suddenly, my phone rings, and I pull it out of my pocket. It's only Alistair calling, so I send it to voicemail and turn off the phone. Without hesitation, I go back to kissing Henry until we hear footsteps coming up the stairs. We quickly break the kiss and return to the party as if nothing happened. The evening continues, and I'm having fun flirting with Henry and a few of the partners. As darkness falls, any thoughts of picking up Alistair vanish from my mind. Before I know it, I find myself upstairs in a bedroom, naked, lying in bed with Henry. Oh my God, he's big, much bigger than Alistair. Exhausted from the intensity of what just happened, we both fall asleep. The next thing I realize, it's 10 p.m., and we're the only ones left in the house. In a rush, we take a quick shower and get dressed. After a brief, lingering kiss, we leave the house and head to our cars. As I drive away, guilt begins to weigh on me. This is the first time I've ever cheated on Alistair. Panicked, I race to my parents' house to pick up the kids. They have school tomorrow, and I should have been there hours ago. I know my mom is going to give me the third degree when I arrive. I pulled into my parents' driveway around 10:30 p.m. and noticed the kitchen lights were off. I knocked on the door, and after a moment, my dad finally turned on the porch light to see who was outside. He opened the door, both he and my mom standing there with confused looks on their faces. "Why are you here?" my dad asked. "I came to get the kids and take them home," I replied. At that, my mom pushed past my dad and started giving me the third degree, grilling me about why I was so late. After what felt like forever, I managed to escape and headed back to my car, frustrated and fuming. I couldn't believe Alistair didn't call to let me know he had already picked up the kids. Instead, I had to stand there for 10 minutes while my mom lectured me, tearing me apart. I was steaming about it the entire drive home, and in my frustration, I didn't even think to check my phone. I pulled into our driveway around 11 p.m., parked in the garage, and walked into the house. There was Alistair, casually sitting in the living room, watching the news. Without giving him a chance to explain, I exploded. "You dirty, rotten son of a bitch. Why didn't you call me and tell me you had already picked up the kids from my mom's house, you a-hole?" I snapped, seething with anger. I had to listen to her for 10 minutes reaming me out. She was asking me why I was there, saying, "Didn't Alistair tell you he's picking up the kids? Are you two having marriage problems? Are you running around on him? Why wasn't he with you at the party?" God, she drives me nuts sometimes. I stood there, fuming, waiting for him to respond. And you could have at least called me. Tell me, shithead, why weren't you at the party? What, are we too good for you? You're just an a-hole for doing this to me. I continued to rant, my anger boiling over. If you'd looked at your phone or had it turned on, you would have seen I left a message that I was at the house and was going to pick up the kids from your parents' place, Alistair replied calmly. Bullshit. I didn't see any messages on my phone, I shot back. Did you even look? I called you 4 times to let you know I was waiting at the parking lot for you to come get me. I even texted you a few times too, he said, growing frustrated. I never saw any messages or texts on my phone. You probably had the wrong number, a-hole. Why didn't you just walk or get a ride back to the party? 2's company, but 3's a crowd, he muttered under his breath. What did you say, you a-hole? Are you insinuating I did something wrong? Screw you. You can kiss my butt. You maggot. You really think I did something wrong? Alistair looked at me coolly. If the shoe fits, wear it. I could practically feel steam pouring out of my ears. I was beyond furious. Screw you, a-hole. Don't even think about coming upstairs to my bedroom. You can sleep down here. I stomped up the stairs, my mind a whirlwind of rage. I was too pissed to even check on the kids. My thoughts were scattered, and I wasn't thinking straight. Once I got to my bedroom, I slammed the door and locked it to make sure Alistair couldn't come in. As I stood there, panting with anger, I wondered why I went off on him like that. He hadn't actually done anything wrong. Deep down, I knew it was my guilty conscience from cheating on him that fueled the outburst. I barely slept that night, tossing and turning in the dark. In the morning, I finally checked my phone. It was turned off. When I turned it back on, I had a bunch of phone messages and a few text messages from Alistair. Damn, he was right. He did call, and I sure screwed this all up. For the next 6 weeks, we avoided each other, almost like 2 cats on a hot tin roof. I was starting to get over the guilty feel, even though I am still having sex with Henry at the office. Sometimes our boss Logan Carter would join us for a threesome. It did not seem to bother me anymore that I was cheating on Alistair. I knew that my law firm would protect me. Things started to calm down in May. Alistair is back sleeping in my bed, but I still won't have any sex with him. I really don't know why I am punishing him by withholding sex. I guess I am still somewhat pissed at him. There again, I don't know why I am still mad at him. Memorial weekend, my mom and dad were taking the kids up to their cabin on Higgins Lake for the long weekend. Mom told me it was time for me to reconnect with my husband. Alistair took me out for a real nice dinner Friday night. We went dancing afterwards. It felt like we were a married couple again. When we got home, I let him have sex with me. I even participated a little bit. Saturday morning, Alistair made a nice breakfast, and when we finished cleaning up the kitchen, he told me he wanted to talk with me. We went into the living room, and he explained about his company conference in Florida. I started to get excited, until he told the dates. It took place over the same weekend that my company has a dinner and dance. There is no way that I am going to miss my company's function. We ended up having a major blow-up over the dates and functions. Sometimes Alistair can be a major a-hole. He went out to cut the grass, and I left to spend money on me for the dinner dance. I got home around 5 p.m., and Alistair is sleeping on the couch. I sneaked up the stairs with my packages and hid them in my closet. The rest of the weekend, we did not speak to each other. We had another fight as he and the kids were leaving for his conference. God, he can piss me off at times. What an a-hole he can be. Well, I have the house to myself for the rest of week and weekend. This should be a very restful week. The next 3 days just flew by. I realized that I never missed the kids or Alistair. I never gave them a call, and they never called me. So we are even. Saturday finally arrived, and I spent the whole day in the beauty salon getting ready for the party. I had the works done, hair, makeup, fingernails, and toenails painted. I went home and got dressed. The party started at 6 p.m., and I arrived 20 minutes late to make an entrance. I knew that I looked fabulous. I am sitting at a table with my boss Henry and his wife, and our senior partner Logan Carter and his wife. They had a single junior lawyer as my date. A junior partner and his wife rounded out our table. I did not know that they had some bedrooms upstairs at the country club. I had a great time drinking wine and dancing. Oh yes, and I had sex with Logan twice and the 3 partners once each. I even screwed my date twice. I got home around 3 a.m. sore all over. My feet hurt from dancing so much. Thank God that Alistair is not home. I don't think I could have sex with another man. I shed my clothes and crawled into bed. I got up at noon and took a nice long bath. I cleaned the house and got the clothes all washed. I knew that the kids should be home around 5 p.m. Right on cue, they drove into the driveway. I completely ignored Alistair and hugged my 2 kids and asked them all about their vacation. I knew that pissed Alistair off, but so what, screw him. A couple of weeks after the 4th of July, Henry started talking about the lawyers' conference at the Grand Traverse Resort in Traverse City. He told me, "Kathy, you are going to this conference, but not your husband. We don't bring our spouses to this conference. The 3 partners will be there, and they expect a repeat of the dinner and dance we had last month. I am excited about going to the conference." When I told Alistair about it, he just shrugged. Prick. He couldn't bring down my good mood, though. I even gave him a couple of mercy secs to keep him happy. It's finally Sunday, the day we are supposed to leave. I am packed and ready to go. We are all meeting at the office, where we will divide up into cars and head north. It was an unbelievable conference. I hardly ever left the room. There seemed to be always one of the guys there to screw me silly. For 6 days I screwed each of the 4 guys, and maybe some other guys. By the time I got home Saturday, I was whipped and screwed out. I spent Friday night with Henry, and I could not believe what he said to me. "I want to really hurt your husband," he said. "What do you want to do to him?" "I want you to have my baby." "What?" "I want you to stop taking your birth control pills, and next month stop screwing him. I am to be your only partner till you get pregnant. This way we can make him a true cuck and have him raise our child." "Oh, that sounds exciting. I will stop taking my pills right now. My period starts next week, and by the middle of September, I should be ready to conceive your child." Henry got me pregnant in September, and our plan was to have Alistair screw me silly as soon as we knew that I am pregnant. Unfortunately, Alistair did not buy into our plan, and no matter how much I tried in the next couple of months, I could never get Alistair to screw me in my fertile time of the month. "Henry, Alistair has not made love to me in 2 months. It will be hard to pin my pregnancy on him," I said. "Don't worry, baby, we will string him up to dry and force him to accept this child. I have a couple of ideas on just what to do to keep him in line," he said. In November, Henry informed me about a company cruise right after Christmas for both spouses and children. The cruise would start the 27th of December and return on January 2nd. "Kathy, you should bring your kids and husband for this cruise," he told me. "Screw Alistair. He can stay home, but I would love to take this cruise with my 2 kids, I replied. We had an odd Thanksgiving, where he went to his mother's house by himself, and I took the kids with me to my folks' house. Of course, my mother could not shut up about why Alistair was not with us for Thanksgiving dinner. We fought the whole month of December on whether the kids will go with me or not on the cruise. Finally, just before Christmas, I gave in and decided to go by myself. I am so pissed at Alistair for doing this to me. He is denying me a chance to have a vacation with the kids, just like he did last summer in Florida. December just flew by, and it was Christmas Day. Alistair and I put on an Academy Award-winning show for both the kids and our folks. We acted like the most lovey-dovey couple, fooling both folks that things were never better for us. I could not wait for the cruise to start. Finally, it is time to leave for my company cruise. I had a great time on the cruise. There was never a shortage of men for me to be entertained by. That includes the top 4 from my company. It was a refreshing cruise for me to recharge my batteries. I got home Saturday night, and the house is empty. There is a note on the table from Alistair that he and the kids would be home Monday evening. Little did I know that the dam was about to break. Monday morning at about 10 minutes before 10 a.m., I was called by Henry to come to the main conference room. When I got there, the 3 partners and Henry Miles were waiting for me. "Ethan Whitman will be here at 10 a.m. to meet with all of us." "You don't have any idea why he wants to meet with us, do you?" he asked. "I don't know who Ethan Whitman is," I replied. "He was a former partner of this firm," Henry told me. I was kind of shocked. I did not know that there was a 4th partner. I just shook my head and kept my mouth shut. There is a knock on the door, and Logan's secretary let Ethan in the conference room. "Well, Ethan, we are all here. What is it that is so important that you need to talk with all of us?" Logan Carter said. "Well, I am here representing Austin James Kelly in his divorce from Allison Joyce Kelly," Ethan said. I gave a loud gasp as the rest tried to all talk at once. My ears were buzzing. My eyes started to mist over. Everyone was talking, but it seemed like I was not hearing just what is being said. I started to feel faint. "Ethan, what is going on here? Why are we all here for a divorce case? This should be handled between you and whoever Kathy gets for an attorney," Logan said. "Well, you might be right, Logan, but you see, there is a whole lot more here at stake than just a simple divorce. I have in my custody some information that needs to be reviewed by all 5 of you. I think that a few days should be enough for you all to review this information. Let's say that we all meet back here Friday morning at 10 a.m. Ethan said as he passed out the envelopes with Alistair's demands, the PI report, pictures, and the 2 discs. Also included were the divorce papers. Ethan got up and said to Logan, "If you have any question or need me for something, You know my phone number. If I don't hear anything, I will meet you all Friday morning 10 a.m. After Ethan left the conference room, Henry walked over to me and sat down. Kathy, you don't look so good. Are you going to be all right? Henry asked me. I just nodded my head okay. He got up and walked back to his chair and sat down and started to review the information. Well, let's see just what Ethan has that he is so proud of, Logan said. While they reviewed the PI report and looked the pictures over, I started to read Alistair's demands. He wants my children. There is no way he is getting my children in a million years. He can't take my children, can he? I cried. Henry came over again and sat down next to me. Now, Kathy, calm down. Let us get through all this information, then we can start making a plan of attack, he said to me. I just nodded and sobbed onto his shoulder while he stroked my hair. He nodded at the other three to continue reading while he calmed me down. It looks like most of the information he has won't be admissible evidence in a court of law. He can file for divorce on a couple of motions, but in Michigan it is a no-fault state, and everything will be split 50-50ths. He would have to prove that Kathy is an unfit mother to gain custody of the children, and she would also get the house. I wonder just what he is fishing for with this entire stack of paper. Let us watch these 2 discs and see just what is on them, Logan said. You guys watch it and fill me in. Let me get Kathy out of here and back into her office. It will give her a chance to catch her breath and calm down, Henry said. The other 3 nodded their heads in agreement, and Henry led me out of the conference room. A couple days later, on a Thursday afternoon, we all met in the conference room to discuss the results of the study done on the information that Ethan had given all of us. I had watched the video and listened to the audio and knew things did not sound really good for us. This is a mess, even though he can't use this information in a divorce case. If this got out, we will all be divorced and clients will leave us, and we will be ruined. This is the purest form of a blackmail case if I ever had seen one, Logan said. For the next 3 hours, we discussed every angle of the information that Ethan had left with us. The final results were that Logan, as president of the firm, would meet with Ethan tomorrow alone to try and feel him out on just what he planned to do with the information. It is Friday morning, and Logan's secretary ushered Ethan into Logan's office. Logan, is it just you and me for this meeting? Ethan said. Let's stop the posturing, Ethan. All this evidence that you have is inadmissible in court, and you know it. Maybe so, Logan, maybe so, but I don't control this information. Alistair does. He told me that he has it all set up so the information that I gave you will be made public, including to all of your wives. That includes your client list and media outlets. Is this what you want, Logan? If that happens, then Ethan, I will sue you and Mr. Kelly. I will break both of you in half. Logan, I don't control what happens with that information. Only Mr. Kelly does. And he doesn't care. It seems that your firm broke up his marriage by making his wife the company hooker. He will release that information, and you can do whatever you want to do. But the damage will be done. Okay, Ethan, where do we go from here? Do you talk for the other 4? Yes, we all agreed that I would be lead counsel on this matter. You read his list of demands. Also, he wants this divorce rushed through the courts. That is something that we both can make happen. Once the divorce is final, the rest of this will blow over. What assurance do I have that the information will never be released? I don't have an answer for that question. I know that he is using the information as protection against retribution that you might take. So that is how I lost my children to that prick Alistair. I will never forgive him for doing this to me. I will never get a chance to watch my children grow up. I think that if I was not pregnant with Henry's baby, I would probably in all likelihood kill myself. I just hope that sometime in the future, Alistair will have a change of heart and at least let me visit my 2 children. It has been 5 years since Alistair left and took my 2 kids with him. I have forgiven him for doing this to me, but I sure would love to see my 2 children again. It is May, and Alice's birthday is next month. I stopped at my folks' house to talk with Mom. I wanted to plan a nice party for Alice. Mom, next month is Alice's birthday, and I would like to plan a nice party here, so the kids can use your pool. What do you think? I asked. She has this big shit-eating grin on her face. This is so unlike my mother not to voice her opinion. It is almost like she is dangling me on a fish hook. I have a better idea. How about we take you and Alice on a trip with us to see your children in Switzerland? She said. I'm stunned. I think my mouth moved, but no words seemed to come out of my mouth. Oh, Kathy, close your mouth before you catch some flies in it. Alistair invited you and Alice to join us in our next trip to see our grandchildren. I think this would be a great birthday gift to Alice to see her stepbrother and sister. What do you think? Do you want us to get tickets for the 2 of you to join us on our trip in June? Of course, I said yes, and in June we left for Switzerland. It was a great trip. Alistair and Maria were very nice to me. I could see that they are very much in love with each other. I could see just what I gave up, and it just crushed me. I made some horrible mistakes, and it cost me dearly. Someday I hope to have what they have in each other. It was great to see my 2 kids, and we had a very good time together. Man, how the time just flew. Before I knew it, it was time to leave. Alistair and Maria were great host and hostess, and they invited us back for Christmas in Switzerland. Dear listeners, please share your thoughts in the comments section below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.